All right, welcome to part 3, the exciting conclusion, or is it, to drawing our medieval merchant's house here. So I just wanted to make a couple points about why we went through all the trouble of making those construction lines on the previous video. First of all, it has to do with composition. A lot of times if you just start drawing, you'll look at, well, maybe this is the most interesting place. You start drawing the roof, then you're going over here, and then you come down, and you're like, oh wait, now there's this other roof, and before you know it, you're kind of off the page. And you're working your way around, and like, I really wanted that more centered. I wanted to figure it out. So the first reason for doing construction lines is you can compose your drawing right where you want it to be on the page. If it's going a little too far this way, you can reduce, you can move this line over, you can basically block out where you're going to put this thing. The second point is you can change, it gives you the power of changing the perspective. So here are the construction lines, just like we drew in the last video, except for this is a view from up above and a little further away, maybe even showing the block. You could have more buildings on there, if you were drawing a story or telling a story in one picture of, a bird flying into town or a dragon coming to, attack the city or something like that. This is the point of view you might want to use. The building seems small compared to the big dragon who's like over here looking down. Conversely, maybe your character is a cat, or it turned into a cat, or you just want a cat to be a significant portion of your drawing. Well, this is, you can see I put the horizon line, I put the eye line right at where the cat's eye would be. This is what the building would look like to a cat, or a mouse, or a little frog, or if your hero was turned into a tiny little shrunken person, or turned into a giant, the way they go back to their house might change like this. Or maybe you could just do this for dramatic interest. It's just maybe this is like an actually more interesting angle to look at this building. That is what the power you have if you're taking your inspiration or your source material and you can literally come at it from a different angle. If you think about the simple shapes that these are made out of and rotate them in 3 dimensions and think about placement of your horizon line versus the subject and where your disappearing points are. All right, let's get back to the construction lines we made in the previous video and fill in the details of this building. Where should we start? Oh, that roof is pretty fun. I kind of want to start with that roof. I'll have my ruler standing by, but I'm pretty much going to freehand now because the cool thing about this medieval kind of style is things can be a little wiggly waggly, and that's okay. The stone's not perfect like bricks, and the wood's not perfect like lumber you get from the lumber yard. Do I need help with that window? And we'll figure that window out when we get to it. All right, let's start here. We can start with this big old beam. There's this big old ridge beam that actually sticks out farther than a roof. It's got kind of this half circle kind of shape to it. And the bottom of it is pretty flat, but the top of it is pretty swoopy. Pretty thick on the end. It gets thin and then it comes up again. There we go. And we've got our roof coming down. We've got a thickness to our roof. And it actually has some little beams holding it up, helping to support that overhang. So what we could do is we could draw those beams first. And they have an end. Let me go back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They start out spaced a little closer together, and they get farther away. All right. I do want to get through this in a timely manner for you all, so I'm going to draw rather quickly. Also, I may do a little fast motion at some point, just because I'm sure you want to see as close to a finished product as I'm going to get today. Some shingles kind of poking around the outside there. Rough shingles. All right. And now on this side, we've got a thickness, and we've got the shingles also. This time we do the roof first, and then the beams afterwards, because they're poking down under this. You kind of match what was on the side here. There's one, we're really only seeing the ends peeking out. There's one over here. So my other lines are getting in the way, huh? There's one there. And we got shingles. Oh boy, do we got shingles. That's going to take a while. Just going to do a little indication of shingles. Remaining construction lines. Again, if you are feeling confident, we could even just do this part in ink and erase all the pencil with it. All right, shall I go in fast motion now? Yeah, let's do that. Well, there it is. I can't believe I drew the whole thing. But here it is. Once it kept going, well, I started going crazy here in the shingles part, perhaps. I don't know. Some of these look a little weird. Actually, what I should do is add a little definition to the bottoms, because you see they create a shadow that shows how thick they are, that they're the thickness of the shingles laying on top of each other. I did some shadows in here, some weighted lines. Kind of works better in pen and ink. This would have been a good drawing to ink over the pencil construction lines. But, you know, I wanted the flexibility to go back and erase. But, you know, I didn't do it too often. Anyway, so kind of like these stones that stick out extra. There's these decorative stones on the very corners. You see them on buildings sometimes. They lap. You know, one goes this way, one goes this way, one goes that way. So I tried to show that with the extra thickness there. But now that's the only shading in the whole thing. So it makes me feel like I should go around and add more shading. But that would help define this. It's kind of getting lost in all the detail. As I said, some of these shingles would look more shingle-like if their edges, the bottom edges, were shaded like these. I can see these. Oh, you can see I was using another piece of paper because I noticed in here some graphite. I started smudging. I don't want to lose my jaggedy edges because these are kind of ramshackle, jagged shingles. But really, I should have some thick bottom edges showing, casting shadows. And there we go. Cool. Well, this was quite an advanced drawing. I don't expect everybody to want to do this, but I thought maybe you'd want to see me go through the whole process just for the heck of it. Or something to aspire to, or something some of you more advanced drawers might want to give a try. So, yeah, a little bit of shading would go a long way, like the inside of this. I don't want to get all wrapped up in it, but inside of this roof would really stand out better if it was shaded. Probably the back side of this, too, this whole area here. This isn't really the right pencil for shading. I should be using a thick, smudgy pencil, but there you go. There you have it. And show some overhang here. All right, I'm gonna try and not get lost in the shading, but you can see detail can actually make something harder to see, harder to make out, because of all these lines going every which way. Doing weighted lines or doing shading shows you which lines are more important than others. Somebody stop me. Okay, well, hope you enjoyed it. I had a good time. Something I really wanted to draw myself, so thanks for following along. All right, see you next time. The longest video ever.